Welcome back to Geoguessr Simplified, the series where I take popular geoguessing metas used by pros and break them down and show you how they're used in game. This week we have blurred short antenna in Russia, a very useful antenna meta to help you region guess Russia. It's been a while. Actually, no, it hasn't. I post these weekly. I posted one last week, posted every Friday. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in content like this because I never miss Friday. Yeah, and with that, let's get into it. So first off, to make use of the blurred short antenna meta, you have to first know you're in Russia. This video is not really going to cover that much. But it's usually pretty easy. For one, Russia has pretty unique architecture that you can recognize pretty quickly. Additionally, Russia also has nicer roads, often overdeveloped in rural areas that you won't really see in other countries, like this just highway cutting through random forests. Additionally, a lot of coverage has black card-long antenna, which is pretty distinct to Russia relatively. Overall, getting Russia is usually not too hard, but region guessing it is a different beast. Thus, when we're talking about Russia short antenna, we're talking about this antenna, which is this shorter little one in Gen 3 coverage, except instead of being able to see the ridges on it, instead of seeing the ridges on it, it is blurred. I really hope my face cam was not covering that, because that would be awkward. The reason this antenna is so helpful is that there are largely two distinct regions where you have it. You can get it in the south by the Caucasus Mountains. You get it in the north by usually east of Kazan, although a little bit by Moscow and Ivanovo. And these regions are so separated that distinguishing them is usually pretty easy. It's a much easier task than most regions in Russia. Thus, because of how confined it is to these areas, it can be helpful to get a no-brainer good guess. But also, it's so extensive in these areas that actually getting a 5K or really good oblast streak is a little bit more difficult than some other antennas. Thus, overall landscape is usually how you get north from south. So let's talk about how to differentiate the two. So the Caucasus Mountains lie here in South Russia. Oftentimes, it can be quite hilly or mountainous in the southern region. This is a horrible example. But if we take a location actually in the Caucasus, see here you can see the blurred antenna, and then it's just massive mountains that you don't really see in any other parts of Russia. In general, though, there aren't many roads going into the mountains, so most of your coverage in the south will be in the more flat part. That being said, there are still hills, even if you're not in the Caucasus, so knowing the terrain can be very helpful in terms of getting the correct region of the southern section. Here, for example, you can see there's just a hill. It's not really a part of the mountains, I don't think, but yep. So in general, way to recognize the southern region is often, I believe, October coverage. It says or September coverage. So it's starting to turn to autumn. It looks kind of dead. All the grass is dead. However, there is autumn coverage in the northern region as well. So don't really use that. One clue to help know you're in the south is there will never be a birch tree. I don't think. You can see here, there's not really any birch trees. It's usually just these like oak trees, whatever these are. These little guys. Darker soil. Oftentimes corn or other agricultural things. A lot of times you have trees lining the road. There's sort of dead looking grass. Overall, like it's kind of hard to mix this up with the north unless you're in like Samara or something in the southern region where you like lack the birches, and it's overall pretty open as well. So this is the northern section. This is probably the baiest part compared to the south. But you don't have any like tall mountains in the distance. Overall, the trees, there's just like more of them, I'd say, and less agriculture. But I have mixed this up with the south on quite a few occasions. But in general, the north is more forested. That's not a good example. I mean, oftentimes you'll just see like more like actual forests with like more northern looking trees, basically. Again, this shouldn't be too complicated. Here you have birches all alongside the road, so you know you're not in the south. Region guessing northern region's a little bit harder. One helpful clue is soil color. Areas around like Perm often have darker soil. You can see here it's black. Go into Ishevsk, it should also be somewhat darker here. Also pretty dark, as well as North Ufa. Looks pretty dark. May not as dark as Perm. I believe it's more of a reddish soil once you get into Ufa, but it's still on the darker side of things. Meanwhile, if you go to Kazan, it's literally just sandy. You don't have the darkness in the soil, which kind of helps distinguish these regions. That being said, there's also darker soil in other places. Like this is Ulyanovsk, and you can get some dark soil. So, however, Samara is it's dark, but it's like not the same type of dark. It's like a dirty color instead of like a dark color, you know. And then it's obviously landscape looks different. So there's also some blurred in Moscow. If you get blurred in Moscow, you're probably cooked. Let's be honest. Like, good luck with that. Ivanovo's gettable if you're him, but me personally, I'm not that guy. So feel free to try to guess Ivanovo yourself. Also, I meant to say this at the beginning of this video, but Finbar's made a video on this antenna that's like an hour long. So if you want an extensive playthrough of this antenna, go check out his video. I will link it in the description, as that is where I largely learned a lot of this information. Lastly, the only thing I have to say is that this E50 is the only divided road in the south. So you can see here it's divided. So if you're in the south with a divided road, it's a pretty easy road guess on the E50. So with that, let's get into the gameplay. I'll play probably 1 or 2 games with this antenna to show you how easy it is to get a decent region guess in Russia. Also, hopefully this video is pretty short. There's not too much to talk about here, so hopefully I can speed through this. If you want a more extensive version, go watch Finbar's video. It's about an hour long, goes more in depth into different metas that you can use. I'll have that linked in the description. Okay, loading the round 1 here. Immediately we have birches of some sort, northern pines. This is not going to be the south. So we can immediately probably assume somewhere in this area. The soil is not particularly dark. Oh, maybe it's just the road actually, because yeah, am I gonna waffle and try? I mean, it's hilly, so we probably just guess like over here somewhere. I don't know. If you wanted to be smart, you can use the JSON, which I think I'll link below if I remember. And then you can make sure you're guessing on roads with the coverage. So like where I click doesn't have really coverage over that. So maybe try this one, though it's paved. This one paved. So I'm clearly in the wrong section. Yeah, it's gonna be some random white road, probably more west then, or it's Chelyabinsk, but I don't know how many unpaved B type or blurred antenna roads are gonna be in Chelyabinsk. I don't think many. Yeah, so I'm just gonna guess like Ulanovsk or something then. Hopefully it's not Moscow. It's a little hilly, so maybe we're by the river somewhere. Okay, it was just perm, so tough. Blurred, sandy soil with like Kirov flowers almost, and like Kazan pines, so probably just guess east of Kazan somewhere. Like here, I think it's a good guess. I don't know. Okay, it was freaking Ivanovo. You do get those flowers a lot in Ivanovo, so. Blurred, looking quite south now. Is this actually south or is this Samara? I think these trees look very southern. They often also painted the bottom off them, which might be a little bit right there, but it's hard to tell. So yeah, we just click south here, get a good region guess. It's gonna be pretty close to the Caucasus because as you saw earlier in the coverage map, it doesn't extend very far north. So yeah, I think getting this area is pretty reasonable with like the landscape. I didn't really want to commit. Okay, we have blurred, obviously. Samara or south, probably. I don't see any birches. Points be south, I believe. It's hilly as well, which does fit for the south, although it does also fit for the north, so that's not really helpful too much. Yeah, I think I just go south here. I mean, I don't see any birches. Kind of hard to get a full landscape guess because we're on the hill, but with this grass, yeah, I think I go south for sure. Just hedge like here. Okay, it was west this time. But overall, it's a pretty good guess. I mean, most people aren't going to make a better region guess than that. So okay, we do a blurred here. These are pines, so we're going to be in the north. Yellow flowers is very Moscow-esque, I believe, but pretty unlikely to be in Moscow here. We tell them the coverages near Moscow, and we have hills. So I'm thinking Orenburg doesn't have blurred, but west over here does. I'm not sure if it sneaks into the oblast. So yeah, it doesn't really go into oblast. It stops in Samara, so it's probably just Samara Hills somewhere, if I had to guess. We do have Kazan Pines, so it might be a little more north, but in general, it should be this northern section at least, so it should be a pretty decent guess. What is that? Oblast. Couldn't tell you. Oh, Tatarstan. Tatarstan. Okay. I'll play one more game. I'm gonna speed run it this time though. Hopefully I don't choke. Okay, I was gonna say looks like Samara, but with all this orange brick, you gotta go south. That's just that simple. We're gonna be like pretty deep close to the Caucasus, so without hilly it is like somewhere in here probably. Yeah, that was a good guess. Blurred should be north with the foliage. See, we don't really orange brick here. That's also another good clue. But yeah, region guessing, I don't see anything really helpful for my brain. Probably just hedge the middle area. It's pretty forested, so yeah, probably just hedging like here. It was Moscow. Yeah, yeah, tough. Okay, this one looks like Yeka, but you don't have blurred in Yeka, so it's probably perm. Unless it's somehow it could be like Chelyabinsk in these mountains, I think. I might actually like that or perm. I mean, we can cheat and check the JSON since I have it open. This road, does that fit? No, this road is not look like that at all. So unless it's this one. Yeah, we're probably in perm then. One of these roads. I didn't even line it up actually. We're going east. Okay. So here it doesn't look too bad. Overcast coverage, but it doesn't exactly match. But for the sake of time, I'll send there. I don't remember which road here. Yeah, it was that road just way farther west. So, and that makes sense with how dark the soil was. That's probably darkest in perm for regions with blurred. See, honestly, I really want to go Ivanovo here. but I'm not him. So I'm gonna go probably Perm or nearby, maybe a little south. I'll go with Ishevsk. I don't know. It was Perm. Tough. And blurred, obviously. And last one, get another northern one with the pines. You wouldn't get these taller pines in the south. Yellow flowers are interesting. Doesn't feel as north as Perm. So we probably just go a little more south, maybe near Samara or something. Kind of worried about west on this one, but I think we're fine. Yeah, just Kazan. All right. So 18K on this map, which I mean isn't great, but like it's pretty good if you have nothing else to go on. So hopefully that was helpful. I've posted these videos every Friday, so on a variety of topics. So if you want to check out the rest of them, I'll put the playlist on the screen right now. And with that, thanks for watching.